All right, so I'm going to record a video about doing image effects with cops in a feedback loop. So you can use cops to do an image effect, and then you can feed that into another cop to basically build on that output. And in the process, you also can bring data back and forth between cops and SOPs. So you could potentially do something kind of interesting here. But I'm just going to cut to the chase and set up a quick little test render. So let's use some test geo. Kind of frame that up. I'm going to do a camera right here. I'm going to set my resolution of the camera to be really low just because I want to make sure I have good performance for my tutorial since I'm running OBS. And I'm going to make a new folder. Let's call this tutorial, cop, whatever. And call that tutorial, and then set up some sort of a light, I don't know, a point light or something. And then I'm going to go to my ROPS and set up an OpenGL to give like a real lightning fast sort of render here. $hip slash original.jpg will be our first render. And then we can go and see that. I'm going to actually turn off my lights, turn off my geo, because we're just going to be working with this rendered image now. So I'm going to make a new geo called iterative cops. Go in here, create a cop2net. And then in that cop2net, I'm going to create a file. In there, I'm going to load my original image up. And so if you see in the composite network, here's our kind of low res image, and I think something doesn't quite work right with the OpenGL render and the light, so it might be a little dim. I might try and see if I can fix that. Let me just do a little test on that. So if I so it's like very bright right here, but then when I go into ROPS and I render and I go back into my cops, let's like reload that. It doesn't seem like the lights are having any effect here, so let me know if you know how to get your lights showing up in your OpenGL renders. I haven't messed with it too much, but anyway, that's a bit of a tangent. So we have our cops, as you see here. And if you go back on the SOPs level, we do have something here. This is basically a grid with a point for every pixel, which has point color. However, if you look at the primitives, there's only one primitive. So this is a bit odd, but it does work. And then to get this into another CopNet, we need to use this labs attribute import here. And I'm going to set the resolution to what I had set before, and then just reference that original CopNet. And as you see, it doesn't really work right because basically you need UVs. So if I do a UV project here, that just works basically, or it should, if I then reference that UV project instead of, I think in UV project you have to press initialize. There, what? What's going on here? Give me 1 sec. Okay, yeah, so that seemed to have been something like a viewport bug. That was weird. My Houdini did crash at some point there. But anyway, so you need this UV project, and then in there reference that. And now you're basically getting the same cop output as this original one here. So same number of points, same number of prims. So using this, we can set up a solver. So I'm just going to cut those, create a solver, go in there, and paste. And this UV project is going to come into my previous frame. And the output's going to come from my CopNet. So now I'm setting up this feedback cycle. I'm also going to set up a null here. Let's just call this prev. And the UV project in the CopNet, we're just going to reference that. So it's a little nested in this D object here, but you can find the prev. And then there you have it. Now our solver is essentially, going to run into feedback cycle. So if I pin this one here, for example, and then go into my COP2net, now I can do something on this image. So let's say I want to, this is a really simple example. Let's say we want to brighten it. So I'm going to brighten it by like 1.5 every frame. And now I'm just going to kind of press play. And nothing happens. How about that? So, okay, there we go. So it's happening. So you see every frame we're doing some brightening effect. It seems to be a little bit slow for some reason to kind of get going. I'm not sure why that is. Maybe it is brightening. It's just hardly visible. But that's like kind of cool. I mean, it's kind of corny, but it's fun, you know. Yeah. And hypothetically, any of these frames, you can do something with SOPs. You can like generate some particles, or based on these like weird, purple artifacts, you can do something on that. We could just try something else for fun here rather than bright. Let's try, I don't know. I like the edge detect one. This was kind of cool. So I put the edge in here. Oh, whoops, how did I go to the last frame? Maybe. So, yeah, I'm not seeing much happening right here. So I think when I did this before, I had to mess with these numbers a little bit. So you see something happening in that edge right there. Now why is that showing up in the output? That's a real good question. Oh, I think this is not need to be pinned. Let's pin this out here. Huh. Well, that's a bit odd. I don't know. Let me mess with this edge detect so I can tell you the correct values. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, sorry. I think that was honestly a viewport bug. I mean, I'm still having another viewport bug where it's like kind of stuck in wireframe mode. Stuff's going on. Stuff's being kind of weird right now. I'm not really sure, but this does work. I mean, it's slow, but that's kind of neat. What the hell's going on here? You know what I mean? That's pretty trippy. Yeah. Whoa. So, I guess we just need to, I guess what we really want to do is dial down. I think I don't need this bright, maybe? I don't know. Maybe that was what, maybe it is that is the reason it was visible at all. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I don't know. There's some weird viewport bugginess going on, but like, yeah, I turned off the bright is not even needed, and it is working. So you get this kind of trippy result. It's kind of space filling, which is kind of neat. It seems to just stop after a certain point, but still pretty cool. And then I guess you can do like a kind of composite also. You can do, what is it called, an over or something? I don't know. I'm not very good at compositing, actually, believe it or not, even though I'm doing this video about it. So yeah, there we go. That's something. And then, okay, no feedback. That's not good. Is it another viewport bug? Who knows? Okay, there we go. So yeah, that's kind of neat. And if this wasn't so low res and stuff, it might look cool. If it wasn't stuck on stupid wireframe mode, maybe it'd look cool. Damn, my Houdini's janky, isn't it? Maybe it's just cops that are janky, honestly. Okay, there's a little something else. Let's turn off these annoying things. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, and if we go in here, I guess you can even mess with the values of this guy a little more. I don't know. 3 and 3. I have no idea what I'm doing, to be honest. Feature size. Oh, neato. That's kind of fun. Let's see what happens now. Oh boy. Yeah, anyway, so you get the concept. I mean, this is like, I guess you can call this a cheap trick or whatever, but I don't know. Somebody do something with this. So I feel like I'm putting quality output on the internet. Thank you for watching.